Good evening, Whakalo Flahiatu, and welcome to your bulletin of BCN News for this evening. Leading the news tonight in what was supposed to be a happy announcement by Premier Dalton Tangilanghi, he instead told the members of the Whānau Gipule at the end of their meeting yesterday his disappointment at the announcement from Wellington that Niue will receive the COVID-19 vaccine 6 weeks after the Cook Islands. And the Cook Islands will receive their vaccine on Tuesday next week, the 19th of May. Here's more on that story. At the end of the Whānau Gipule yesterday, the Premier was initially prepared to make the announcement that the vaccine rollout for Niue would begin in June, and his preference of the first week of June, which he said was agreed to with Wellington. However, new information received yesterday afternoon indicated a different time. The Premier announced that Wellington had decided that the rollout of the vaccine will begin first in the Cook Islands next week on the 19th of May, and Niue will follow 6 weeks later, which is likely in early July. Premier Tangilanghi told the whānau that he is very disappointed with this decision from Wellington because he had been asking for the vaccine for Niue to begin in as early as April. Then it was pushed to May, and it was finally agreed between the two countries that it would be in June. The Premier went on to inform the Assembly that he will proceed with his press release, which was already prepared for announcement yesterday. The Premier's press release announced the rollout of the vaccine to take place in June, saying that the government of Niue is eager to vaccinate 100% of the eligible population. After months of delays between two governments and two boards, the long-awaited Manatua cable was officially commissioned for use by the Premier Honourable Dalton Tangilanghi yesterday at the Commercial Centre. The Premier officially launched the Manatua cable, a culmination of 4 years of work and with funding from the New Zealand government. Yesterday, a small crowd gathered at the Commercial Centre to mark the occasion.
From the previous government to today's government. And let me acknowledge the leadership from the last government, the late Satoke, Ministers Billy Talangi and Minister Poko Sikuri, that helped driven this project, the Manatua cable, in cooperation with the other three countries in the region, recognizing the importance of the connectivity that is required to help our people within communications, not only here but around the world. Today I am pleased to announce that the new Manatua cable is now ready for service in Niue after undergoing several weeks of tests.
Telecom Niue, the government's internet service provider, also responsible for the bulk of the work in landing the cable and the implementation of faster internet, was represented by the board chairperson Avi Rubin and senior staff member Dimitri Viliamu.
Today marks a game changer for Niue. From slow and expensive satellite connection, we now have a fast and a much more affordable connection. The new connection will give us great ability to improve connectivity that can help us with health, education, business, contact family and friends, and entertainment. So, in behalf of the Telecom Board, which is Sina, Des, Ian, and myself, I would like to thank the following. The previous government that came up with the initiative and the idea to do it, the current government and the Premier for giving us all the support and the trust, the Manatua Steering Committee headed by Peleni, the SOG, which did a fantastic job getting us here, the CEO, Brett, for working hard and making sure that all the testing and everything is done properly. All the landowners in Makefu that worked with us to make sure that it's a smooth transaction. All the telecom employees, all of them that worked so hard and sometimes in terrible wet conditions, putting cement down and connecting things and working overtime. Thank you. And most importantly, I really want to thank the telecom customers. In the end of the day, you put your hard-earned money into our services, and we appreciate it. And I can promise you that we'll continue to looking after you and give you the best possible prices and services that we can give.
Telecom Niue is also offering a month-long promotion of 100 free data to all users on the island. New Zealand's Deputy High Commissioner Nigel Ewell spoke on behalf of the donor, the New Zealand government.
Manatua is a combination of 4 years of work from different governments and organisations, and New Zealand is proud to support our realm countries, Niue and the Cook Islands, to be partners in this low-cost, fast internet move to connectivity in the region. We see the connectivity provided by the Manatua cable will help bring social and economic development benefits to the islands, including Niue, improving digital services for businesses and the wider economy, while supporting advancements in e-government, health and education, as well as connecting back to family and friends around the world. New Zealand has been proud to continue to support initiatives in Niue to ensure that the full performance of the cable is utilised for Niue's benefit, including our recent support to Telecom Niue to upgrade the domestic network on the island. As a result, we should, over the next year and more, we should start to see increasing benefits from having the Manatua cable operational and providing that extra service.
And also from the Whanokepule, the members of Assembly passed the government supplementary budget yesterday, the first supplementary budget in 10 years. The $8 million budget is earmarked for COVID-19 response in preparation for two-way quarantine-free travel later in the year. The Minister of Finance, Crossley Tatui, presented the government's $8 million supplementary budget earmarked for COVID-19 response. The budget is allocated to the following sectors: $1.7 million for the health sector, $950,000 for food security to ensure no disruptions to the supply chains of the food imports, and this will be administered through interest-free loans at the Niue Development Bank. $1 million for Sir Robert's Wharf, the lifeline to the country, a key piece of infrastructure. The private sector will receive $1.4 million, which is expected to assist with the wage subsidies of struggling businesses. The Development Bank will receive $1 million for lending capital. Infrastructure and purchase and maintenance of infrastructure will receive $400,000. The tourism sector will receive $1 million, and a $500,000 discretionary fund for urgent and emergency situations. In response to the passing of the supplementary budget, Catherine Papani of the Niue Chamber of Commerce says that the allocation for the private sector is good news and definitely gives the private sector and the business community a sigh of relief that many of their businesses can continue. She says that the biggest issue for the private sector remains the uncertainty of how long this pandemic will last, which makes planning for business operations and cash flow extremely hard. And staying with the Whanokepule, the selection of the members of Parliament to the Parliamentary Select Committee to look into the operations of Telecom Niue and BCN has been postponed until after the passing of the budget. The Assemblyman from Tamakautonga, Muyaki Riki Makani, asked the Whanokepule yesterday to postpone the setup of the Parliamentary Select Committee to look into the operations of Telecom Niue and BCN. Mr. Makani cited several reasons to postpone this, saying that it would be preferred to wait until after the passing of the budget for the new financial year. The Assemblyman says that he feels that it is also very important to ensure that all 3 women members of the whānau are present to allow them the opportunity to speak on this, as one of the female members is currently overseas. Mr. Makani also asked that the Assembly continue to discuss the expectations of this committee, and he did not feel any urgency in the formation of this committee at this time. Mr. Makani's motion, which was supported by 7 members of the Whanokepule at its last meeting, set a precedent in expanding the scrutiny of the Whanokepule into the operations of government entities. And the issues facing the national netball season, with teams complaining of unclear rules and questioning the decisions of the Niue Island Netball Association, have been settled, according to its president, Carol Edwards. BCN News contacted Mrs. Edwards, who is in New Zealand, over the concerns raised by some of the teams. Here's more on that story. Some of the netball teams contacted BCN News last week, saying that many of their complaints filed with the Niue Island Netball Association had not been addressed or had not been acted on. Carol Edwards told BCN News that they received 4 letters of complaints from teams and that they had addressed those complaints. She went on to say that the majority of the complaints can be put down to miscommunication and teams not being clear on the rules, even though the team managers or their representatives were present at all the NINA meetings before the season started. A few weeks ago, a growing number of social media postings raised concerns over the unclear rules and rulings of the NINA officials. Some of these social media postings have turned nasty and become personal attacks. There were also allegations of physical and verbal altercations between some team officials and NINA officials. One team told BCN News that they are contemplating pulling out of the season unless NINA committees start to take their complaints seriously and address them. Carol Edwards says that it is very unfortunate that some of these issues between the teams and NINA officials have resulted in 3 NINA officials withdrawing as referees over the number of complaints about their rulings, which had turned into personal attacks. NINA, in a move to compromise, is now allowing teams to choose their own referees for their games and to let the national netball body know. NINA president says that they appreciate all the efforts of the 23 teams, from the managers and players alike, and at the end of the season, NINA will be asking for constructive feedback from all the teams on how they can improve. They won't promise to do everything that everyone wants, but that NINA will do what is best for the game of netball on the island. The White Sunday, or Te Whānau, is the highlight of the Ecclesia Church calendar, a day when children wear their best white outfits and take to the stage to say a short verse or sing hymns and play music for their parents and the congregation. The children's mothers also share the attention on the day as mothers around the island celebrate Mother's Day. We were able to capture some of these images for you. well done to all the little ones, especially those ones who went all out to say their launga and to sing. Congratulations, and I look forward to seeing them again next year. But that's our news bulletin for tonight. You have a lovely weekend. Remember to go up to Makefu for their village show day on Saturday. I'll be back with you on Tuesday next week for our bulletin in Wangahau. Until then, Marina Po, good night.